In this video, I'll be breaking down the exact routine I use to go from skinny and average to what most people would call jacked. And I've had a ton of messages and comments asking about it, so I'm finally breaking it down for you guys. And if you're new to my channel, my whole mission is to simplify fitness and nutrition. I've helped thousands of guys understand that you don't need bodybuilding BS or 6-day bro splits to build your dream body. Simple works, and this split is proof. So why did I choose an upper lower split to build my physique? Because it gives you the best balance of frequency and volume. Frequency meaning how often you train a muscle, and volume meaning how many quality sets and reps you hit in a week. If you follow the science, you're going to know that it is often recommended to hit muscle groups more than once a week with around 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week. I'm not completely sold on this anymore, but this is what I followed to get probably 95% of the results you're seeing. So I don't want to contradict myself because it does work. The point I'm trying to make is yes, maybe hitting a muscle group 2 times per week brings better gains, but it's probably very minimal and it assumes you can actually recover from it. And if you watch some of my previous videos, you're going to know that I'm not dogmatic on training programs. The number one piece of advice I give to people is to pick a proven program and stick with it. It could be mine, it could be someone else's, just whatever you enjoy. Full body works, bro splits work, upper lower works, calisthenics work. You just have to find what keeps you consistent. I look at programs as different types of vehicles or cars to get you to a destination. The destination being your dream body. Full body could be a Corvette, an upper lower is a Lambo, a bro split is a Honda Civic, push pull legs is a Porsche 911. And I think you get like the metaphor I'm trying to use here. They all have different features, but they're all vehicles. They can all get you to your goal just at different speeds. You have to find the one that you enjoy and the one that you want to follow. Now let's talk about how I actually structured my upper lower split. It was super simple. Lifting days were Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday, rotating upper lower. Upper day was 2 push movements and then 2 pull movements, shoulders, triceps, and biceps for isolation. On lower day, I did a squat or a leg press variation, quad focus movement like Bulgarian split squats or leg extensions, then hamstring knee flexion, so lying leg curls or seated leg curls, hamstring hip hinge like some type of deadlift, seated calf raise, standing calf raise, and then you can also do core. The most important part is going to be progression though, and the simple rule I followed was this. If I could hit the top of my rep range with good form on all of my sets, I'd increase the weight next week by about 2.5 to 5 pounds. If I couldn't, I stayed there until I built up to it across all sets. That's the whole game. Progress slowly and consistently, and you'll get bigger. If you constantly challenge yourself to more reps and weight over time, you're going to grow. And here are the most common mistakes I see with someone running this split. Number one is they're running way too much junk volume. So they try and do 5 sets for every movement. Personally, I would start with 2, maybe 3 sets per main movement and 1 to 2 sets for isolation. And number two is they're switching exercises every week. When you're switching, it's hard to track. So stick with the same exercises for at least 12 weeks, ideally much longer before considering rotating variations. Number three is training, but never pushing close enough to failure. And this is something that is so common. I see this every time I'm in the gym. And one of the stories that I posted on my Instagram, I had this thought the other day in the gym is if you aren't a bit nervous before going into your working set, you probably aren't pushing yourself hard enough. And that challenge is where the muscle is actually built. Now, if you're brand new and you're kind of working up to weights and you're just getting familiar with the movements, don't push yourself to the bleeding edge. But if you've been training for multiple years, 2, 3 years, and your sets are easy and you're still average and you haven't built muscle, that's probably why. Literally every set that I do, I'm a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous because there's like a slight doubt in my mind if I can get it or not. But that is because I'm pushing to a new territory. And by pushing to this new level, my body is forcing itself to adapt and build more muscle. And one of the main reasons I used to love the upper lower split is that it fits real life. You can run it 3 days a week, alternating if you're busy, or 4 if you want more volume. So summing this up, I built my physique training 3 to 4 days a week on an upper lower split. I focused on getting a minimum of 10 sets per muscle group per week. My rep ranges were somewhere around 6 to 15, depending on the movement. And then rest times were 2 to 3 minutes for main, and then about 1 minute or so for isolations. I followed simple progression and just stayed consistent. Once again, this is no longer how I train, but it did work. I now train much lower volume and only 3 days a week. And I've given you guys a skeleton framework, but if you still have questions and want to know exactly how to progress week to week, how to eat for your goals, how to adjust when you stall, and how to make sure you actually stick to it, that's what I put together inside my Average to Jack program. It's literally the step-by-step plan I wish I had when I started. And if you want everything laid out in 100 times the detail in my personal help, the link's in the description or the pinned comment, and you'll also get access to my private community with tons of others getting jacked. So appreciate you guys watching. I will talk to y'all on the next one. Peace.